Hey man, what's the deal, y'all? I am your host, Dean. Y'all already know what it is. Philly in the building, Chester in the building. Y'all already know Dean by any means. Now, this video is a video I've been waiting to do and waiting to make because I think that I was just waiting for the right time. I want to give a shout out to Jaronennis out of Philadelphia, and I want to get a shout out to David Jr. out of Cuba. They the two most feared men in boxing. They the only two guys. If somebody asked me who's the best fighter in boxing, I wouldn't say Bud Crawford. I wouldn't say Canelo Alvarez. I wouldn't even say Gervonta Tank Davis. You know who I would say? Jaron Ennis, David Morrell. And that's me foreshadowing, of course, y'all. That's definitely me foreshadowing. I just think those two guys are the most two talented guys at in boxing. I don't think David Benavidez or Canelo. I don't think they could beat David Morrell, and I don't think Earl Spence or Bud Crawford could beat Jaron Ennis. Philly in the building. They just have everything. They just have everything. Both fighters have everything. Effective aggression, defense, ring generalship, effective punching. They got it all. They have it all. David Morrell is a guy that has everything in his bag. He could come get you. He could sit there and play with you and set you up. He's very good at using his jab, has very great footwork. His defense could be a little bit better, but that's something I think sometimes he gets where he knows the guy can't hurt him, so he just don't care. He's just going out there to seek and destroy. But I think he will learn similarly to what Gervonta Davis learned early in his career. That you remember when Gervonta was just balls to the wall, and then he slowed it down a little bit and became more efficient. And that's the way that you box. Jaron Ennis is just a star, man. There's nothing he can't do in the boxing ring. There's actually things he could do in the boxing ring everybody else can't do. He could switch hit. He can use both hands. He has power in both hands. He has great footwork. He has great defense. He uses a great jab. He goes to the body. These are and will be the two best fighters in boxing. In the next 5 years, when it's the year 2029, 2028, 2029, they both will probably be number one and number two pound for pound on that list. Probably Gervonta Davis over them because I'm just foreshadowing what I think Gervonta would accomplish in the next 4 years. But they will be the main three guys in any weight class, the best three guys in boxing. And I'll put Inoue up there too, but I'm not talking about Inoue. These guys are the most feared guys in boxing. David Benavidez don't want to fight him. Bud Crawford and Earl Spence, they don't want to fight Jaron because I think everybody knows what comes with that. It's not so much a low risk, high reward because, to be honest, anybody who's anybody in boxing respect those guys, know who those guys are. I think it comes down to it's the risk of knowing that you can lose embarrassingly. It's that risk, and that's not worth it. I think both of these guys should be on their way to try to become undisputed and try to make themselves the face of boxing. I think it'll be easier for Jaron Ennis to do it because he's an American fighter, but Jaron just need to talk more in the media. He need to get a little more spicy with it. He a calm Philly bull. Most of us we be on go, but he more calm. You dig what I'm saying? David Morrell don't speak that good of English, but he actually has that bravado, and that's what I love about him. These guys got to stop getting ducked. These guys got to stop not getting the opportunity, and these guys got to stop getting discredited if y'all really love boxing the way y'all say y'all do. Jaron Ennis, I promise you, and will bet anybody any amount of money that they want to bet that 4 years from now, both of them, 2 to 3, 4 years from now, both of them will be number one, number two, number three, pound for pound, the best fighters in the world. I don't think Canelo can beat David Morrell. I actually think David Morrell brings too much for Canelo, to be honest. All that stuff he was doing with Jermell against David Morrell will not work. David Morrell is not going to just back up on the ropes and just let you be swinging and he's not throwing nothing back. That will not happen. The punches that Bud was catching Earl with, Jaron don't even fight like that. So he's not even the same style of fighter that Earl Spence is. and let y'all tell it he got rib injuries, he was dehydrated, he was everything else in the book, but ready for the fight. These guys are ultra talented. And if you really love boxing the way you say you do, then you need to really check these guys out. You need to start making content on these guys. You really need to push the fact that these guys are it. They talk about an it factor. There's not that many guys in boxing that has an it factor. We just seen that with Devin Haney. We just seen that with Shakur Stevenson. You could be good fighters, but you don't have the it factor. David Morrell and Jaron Ennis both does. They both do. They both have that it factor. And I'll put David Morrell over Jaron because we go in weight class. I don't think if Jaron got in the ring with David Morrell, he could beat him. We got to push the new talent in boxing. I don't care if you're a Devin fan, Shakur fan, Tyson Fury, Wilder. We got to push the new boxers. Become a fan of somebody else. Who the new guy you like? I don't want people talking to me about boxing when you can't say when I ask you about Xander Zayas and you don't have a response for him. When I ask you about Raymond Matala and you say I haven't really watched him like that. Then when I ask you about Abdullah Mason and you say who is that, then you're part of the problem of what I'm talking about. Gervonta Davis is not the only person in boxing, and that's my favorite fighter. But Gervonta Davis is not the only person in boxing. And while we so focused on everything else, we're not focused on the up-and-coming talent that could keep pushing the sport forward. You tell me something that those two guys don't got in their arsenal. They're complete fighters, probably two of the most complete fighters in boxing. And that's why I think they'll be where they at, because I don't see nobody in their divisions stopping them. I know Jaron Ennis for sure will become undisputed at 147. And if he doesn't, he'll be unifying and moving up to another weight to get a big fight, blase, blase, blah. David Morrell sends people to the hospital. David Morrell sends people to the hospital. That's all I need to say about him. Athletic-wise, he's bigger, faster, stronger than everybody else he's going to be facing. David Benavidez can't bully him. They're the same size. And if you ask me, David Morrell is in better shape. What I mean, and to be honest, it's so funny of me saying that because I'm a big David Benavidez fan. I think he's also special. Go buy that fight. But I think David Morrell's body is in more shape than even a David Benavidez, who I think his best attribute is his conditioning. And he a dog. Go buy that David Benavidez fight. He's also a special talent, if you ask me. Because a guy that shows me he has heart, he has resiliency, he has endurance, he can switch his game plan up. I like that. He's willing to throw his hands. Yeah, I like him. Sorry. His brother I don't like too much, but we ain't talking about him. Jaron Ennis is the most skilled fighter in boxing right now. The reason why I say that, because you can't find a hole in his game, and he can switch hit better than even Bud Crawford can. Oh, yeah, and he from Philadelphia. Shout out Philly. We in a building. They are the two most feared men in boxing. The big dogs say it's low risk, high reward. I mean, high risk, low reward. The smaller guys, they're ducking him. They're ducking both of those fighters because they don't want to get put on a highlight reel. They don't want to get put on no highlight reel. Caleb Plant ain't rushing to make that David Morrell fight. Keith Thurman ain't rushing to make that Jaron Ennis fight because they know what they facing. It's one thing for the top guys at the division to dictate who they fighting. But the guys that's not even at the top to sit up there and act like they don't have to fight this person, they don't have to fight that person. Nah, my guy. Keith Thurman, what's a better fight for you than that? Caleb Plant, what's a better fight for you than that? Because I don't see one. I don't see it. The two next superstars in boxing, David Morrell, Jaron Bruce Ennis. And remember, you heard it here. See, everybody else will tell you they like him and they a fan of him, blah, blah, blah. They won't go off the deep end like I'm going to go. I am telling y'all, 4 years from now, Gervonta Davis, David Morrell, and Jaronennis and Noah Inoue will be number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, pound for pound. You got to know what you're watching, people. Stop being fanboys and understand what you're watching. If you call me a fanboy, it's because I'm actually a fan of a guy that can actually do it. That none of y'all can deny, because none of them have a 0 next to have a 1 next to their winning record. So until somebody beats them, I'm going to continue to say what I'm saying, because so far what I'm saying has been proven fact. So far what I am saying has been proven fact. Let's move the sport of boxing forward, y'all. That's all I'm asking. Let's move the sport of boxing forward. We talk about Devin Haney, Shakur, Gervonta, Wilder, Fury, Earl, Bud every day. Canelo every day. Can we talk about the new guys in the sport that may be more talented than everybody I just named? But we say that boxing is dying because we're not talking about Jaronennis and David Morrell. Xander Zayas, Noah Inoue. That's why boxing's dying. Carmel Moten. That's why boxing's dying. Because the focus ain't where it need to be. The focus ain't where it need to be, y'all. So, deem by any means Jaronennis, David Morrell, Noah Inoue, Gervonta Davis, I promise y'all, 4 years from now. And Noah Inoue probably do it, Noah Inoue probably about to do it in like a couple months, to be honest. Because if he win undisputed again, then it's like, it's going to be kind of hard to say anything, because I don't see nobody at his weight divisions stopping him anytime soon. I don't see nobody at 126 or 130 beating Noah Inoue anytime soon. So he wound up becoming 3-time undisputed in like a couple years. And it's going to be kind of hard to argue about Noah Inoue. It's going to be kind of hard to argue about it. Jaronennis, once Bud actually drops these belts like he's going to do, I truly believe that, he probably be undisputed in like 2 fights. David Morrell, he's going to get David Benavidez, Boo Boo, Caleb Plant, Canelo, one of them very soon. And when he does, he's going to beat him. Probably stop him. And then I think he will go on to be undisputed or unified at the 168 division. And I think he'll go up to 175 and beat Bivol too. So, deem by any means. Let's push this sport forward. Let's start talking about other fighters besides the main 7 fighters that we speak about. And let's keep this sport moving, y'all. Because we owe it to the sport. I owe it to the sport. You owe it to the sport. That's what makes this fun. That's what makes people want to buy it. That's what makes people want to see it. Yes. Big up Boots. Big up David Morrell. Because we ain't bigging up guys who don't deserve it. We're bigging up guys who are proving it in the ring, outside of the ring, and handling their business and showcasing and putting on the show that people want to see. So y'all already know what it is. Deem by any means. Holla at your boy.